Communication is one of a man's strongest assets, and unfortunately, most men sleep on it. Everybody's focused on the grind, everybody's focused on the hustle, but they forget that in order for you to get into some of these rooms, you need to be able to communicate effectively. The reason I'm able to afford a Rolex watch, multiple Rolex watches, multiple supercars, have a six-figure job, beautiful family, is because I was able to master the art of communication. The art of speaking to somebody in a way that is compelling. Once you master that skill set as a man, the world is your oyster. Being a good communicator involves a lot of skills. You need to be able to listen, comprehend, and also respond thoughtfully. Too many men are too eager to respond quickly. They don't take a moment to really think. What am I about to say? How am I going to say it? What words am I going to choose to use? They just blurt out. I learned at a very young age that being able to communicate effectively will open up doors that you would not be able to open up otherwise. People respect you more when you communicate clearly. When you walk into a room with the proper attire and you open your mouth and the words that you say are impactful, that changes the environment of the room. It tells everybody in that room that you're about it, that you know what you're talking about, that you're him. But it's not just that. It's not just coming into the room and yapping effectively. It's also being able to read the room, read the body language of the people around you, understand the environment you're in, understand nuance, context, and build an argument. A lot of the times people are afraid to really explore the art of communication because they feel like they're not ready yet. They feel like they don't have all of the information and don't want to be inaccurate. But in reality, it doesn't matter. Some of the best communicators on the planet are 100% wrong about what they're talking about. And even so, they still have people listening to them because they've mastered the art of communication, which by extension has allowed them to master the art of manipulation. You can't be a master manipulator if you can't communicate. If you're not able to see context clues, if you're not able to really listen and interpret a situation, break it down to its bare bones components, rearrange them, and spit them back out at a person, you'll never be able to get to the level where you need to be. It doesn't even have to do with whether you're speaking without any ums, buts, or stuttering. Some of the most powerful communicators on the planet stutter. Some of the most powerful communicators on the planet stumble over their words. But they still are able to communicate effectively because they've mastered the art of context and manipulation. Elon Musk is a perfect example of this. Not the perfect speaker, doesn't use the craziest vocabulary, but when he speaks, there's impact in his words because he stops what he's doing, he puts his head down, he analyzes the context, he thinks about the words he's going to use, and then he speaks. And if you notice, some of the best communicators on the planet do this. When they're in an interview, they don't rush to blurt out the first thing that comes to their mind. They breathe and they think about the context of the conversation. The man who responds first is not always the wisest man. And a lot of people rush to be the quickest at responding because they want to seem intelligent. But in reality, most of the time when you do that, you actually expose the truth that you're not the most intelligent person in the room. You really haven't thought through your answers. It's just like in school when you were on a test. Check your answers before you submit your test. But a lot of y'all, you want to look smart. You want to be the loudest voice in the room, and so you respond super quickly without thinking. Being a man and being able to communicate effectively is a superpower. Without it, I would probably not be where I'm at. And if you're able to communicate clearly and you have the looks, you have the attire, you have all the other things, the world is your oyster. There's nothing that can stop you. You can go all the way up to the top. And this is why, as a man, even if you don't have the communication skill on lockdown, it is your imperative to stop what you're doing and focus on becoming a better speaker. Learn how to talk. Learn how to listen. Learn how to read the room. Learn how to be yourself. Learn how to be natural. Be in your skin. Go with the flow. All of these are parts of the communication skill set. But once you get it, Who's going to stop you? Who's going to challenge you? Nobody wants to fight with a good communicator. Debating with a good communicator, if he's OP, nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody's going to challenge you. You walk into a room, you sound like you know what you're talking about. You look like you know what you're talking about. Nobody's going to stop you. Nobody's going to challenge you. You can basically do whatever you want. It's a life hack. When you're a good communicator, you can convince people of almost anything. Look at all the biggest cult leaders. Look at the pastors of mega churches. Look at celebrities, actors. Once you master the ability to communicate, there's nothing that's going to get in your way. But you're not going to be able to do that if you don't take the steps necessary to get better. Talking to people, talking on camera, reading books, learning to listen. I don't know how I can emphasize more than anything else that more than speaking fluently and clearly, it is extremely important that you learn to listen. Listening is one of the key components to becoming a good communicator. Too many people on this planet don't want to listen. When they hear somebody talking, they're busy thinking about what they're going to say, the rebuttal. And then they blurt something out without even getting the full context of the conversation. In the beginning, I used to think it was a comprehension issue, but now I realize that it's not a comprehension issue, it's a listening issue. They're simply not listening to the conversation. Everybody wants to be right. And all of this applies even more so to a black guy. If you're a black guy and you're able to communicate, you got the charisma, you got the listening skills, people will be blown away. People will always underestimate you when they see you, but when you open your mouth, you'll blow their socks off. They won't expect to hear the barrage of words coming out of your mouth. With proper context, cohesive arguments, hard to rebuttal, they'll be shocked. And that will make you the most powerful person in the room. Being a black communicator is a superpower. And too many young black men are sleeping on it. They're wasting their time doing the opposite. Doing the opposite. Instead of mastering the skill of communicating, they're doing the opposite. They're learning how to not communicate. You feel me? You dig? Using slang, using ebonics, literally going in the opposite direction of social status. Throughout history, that's how human beings have identified your status. Not just by the way you look, not just by the way you dress, but by the way you talk, the words you use, the way you carry yourself. It is in your best interest to climb the social ladder as high as you can. And the only way you're going to do that, the only way you break through that glass ceiling is by being a good communicator. I'm not a master of communication yet. I would rank myself a rank A in communication. I'm going for the S tier. But one thing is for sure, when I walk into a room, whether it be at the club, whether it be at a boardroom meeting, anywhere, doesn't matter where, doesn't matter the context, I am dominating the room and I'm dominating the conversation. And if you're not careful, I'm dominating your bitch too. Being a wordsmith, having the ability to craft a narrative is the literal most powerful thing a human being can do. Every human being loves stories. Every human being loves storytellers. And if you're the storyteller that dominates the narrative in your environment, in your community, there's nobody who's going to stop you. You'll have followers. You'll have people that listen to everything you say. They'll do whatever you tell them. You've been tricked, especially as a black man, to want to talk slang because you think it looks cool, to not read books, to not get educated. Wake up. It's time you start to improve your life. Build the skill of communication and get out there, dominate.